Hello, Sonic fans. Welcome to episode 99 of the Sonic Movie Show, the only show that's about Sonic news, movie news, and Sonic movie news. My name is Ethan, and with me here, as always, is Devin. Sonic? Oh, wow, what's that quote from, Devin? It's from the movie.
Careful, guys. We have ultimates in play.
We have ultimates in play?
Yeah, get it?
Oh, God.
Get it?
Yeah, I understand.
Guess what it's from?
Is it a quote from an actual Sonic thing, or are you pranking me?
According to Xbox Wiki.
All right, Xbox Wiki. That narrows it down a bit, I think.
Careful, guys. We have ultimates in play.
I'm going to go ahead and suggest Sonic Forces.
Nope. Team Sonic Racing.
Oh, I never played that game. All right.
Honestly, that might be the best Sonic game I've played. Because I haven't played too many. But
Shh, you're not allowed to say that on the Sonic podcast. You're supposed to be
I've played them all.
unabashedly.
You know, fine. That's my hot take. Team Sonic Racing, Sonic Team Racing. I always forget the title. It's so fucking good. I misremember.
I was about to definitively say it's Team Sonic Racing, but I actually don't know now.
I have this issue every time we talk about the game.
Maybe if I actually played the game, I would know.
Do people put it in an acronym? I don't know.
That's why I hate the thing where it's
TSR,
like...
dude. You want to play TSR when you get home?
Or RST?
No, TSR.
Racing Sonic Team? Sonic Team, however, unlike the title that suggests that, did not make Sonic Colors Ultimate, but yet Sega still seemed to impose the same level of Sonic restrictions on Blind Squirrel Games, the developers of Sonic Colors Ultimate, which I have played and beaten and streamed, and then my save crashed. So we're going to talk today all about just what the hell of an underpassed undertossed throw of a missed opportunity. I'm trying to make a joke I'm trying to segue. That's really nice. Right. But yeah, no. So to catch people up, Sonic Colors, a 2010 Wii game, 2010, right?
Great
Late
year.
on that console, one of the best looking games on that machine. I remember back in the day being like, wow, this looks really good for a Wii game. Really nice.
Looks really good on my Wii.
It's 2021, right? Game has been remastered, remade, redone, however you want to phrase it, on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch, as well as I think it's on Steam, on PC, probably. In any case, Blind Squirrel Games, which have done plenty of remasters of other games, including, I believe, a lot of stuff for 2K, like the Borderlands stuff, and most recently, besides Sonic Colors, LeBron James Simulator, Mass Effect Trilogy on modern consoles, which I said I was going to buy and then I never did, but that's the way of the gamer. In any case, Sega contracted them to do this, to make Sonic Colors Ultimate. Game came out. It is the 2010 original with a bunch of little tiny stuff included. You can make Sonic's gloves a different color and then barely see them because he swings them around really fast when he runs. And there's a couple challenge stuff on there, and it's an HD overhaul and new stuff, and there's new stuff.
Didn't you get a keychain?
I did get a G keychain because I pre-ordered it, and I got the baby Sonic. No, it's still in the package because you know what, boys and girls, folks all over, that thing's going to be worth at least $5 in 10 years.
Shut up.
So I want to get that money.
See, like, that's one of the few, like, keychain things I feel like I've seen where it's like, it's small enough to fit on my keys, and if it does fall off, I'm not going to be mad.
It's true. I think it looks so, like, brittle.
Yeah.
I would be like, this thing's just going to smash.
It's gonna shatter into a million pieces.
Exactly.
I have a Mimir from God of War
Yeah.
keychain, and he, like, talks. Like, you press a button, and he talks. And I'm like,
That's
I don't want to
funny.
put this on my keys because, like, it's cool.
I don't want
and
to lose it.
Nice, and I don't want to lose it. Yeah. So, like, but now it just sits in a box somewhere.
Yeah,
And I'm
right.
like, should I just say F it at this point? And just put it
I
on?
say F it.
You know what I mean?
On my keychain, I have a Mega Man sprite, little like rubber flat thing of Mega Man
I think I've seen
running,
it before,
classic
yeah.
animation. Love that sprite. It's a perfect image. I have
the Mona Lisa of our times.
I have a little rubber flat image of a beer pint that I got from some bar in New York City.
Which is funny because you don't even like really drink.
I was also in high school at the time. We got hamburgers there. That's what was kind of funny. But the food was really good. It was probably just a USDA Angus beef hamburger. We were like, oh, this is great. Because it was like 120 outside. We just wanted to sit down inside. I have that. I have a little wooden knickknack my grandfather made. And then I have 2 1/8 keyblades stuck on there because they look like keys and it fits. One of them snapped off, so I just had like the little ring stuck on there. That's on my keychain. I've had those on there for a long time. But yeah, I'm not putting the Sonic Colors Ultimates pre-order bonus of Baby Sonic from the Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
I just realized
on my
that
keychain.
we can do SMS as a keychain. That'd probably look clean. Like the SMS logo.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised if someone else already uses that for stuff.
Oh, there's the ACAB keychain, remember? That we saw in the Sonic
in the Sega font.
Sonic font.
Yeah.
Sega.
Exactly. Oh, Sonic Colors Ultimate taught me that Sega has a different logo in the Japan regions in America, and it's just the blues are dimmer in the West because we're more serious over here.
Yeah, we don't like fun.
We don't like fun. Any case, Sonic Colors
blue.
Ultimate. Vote blue no matter who. You run so fast. He don't support you. I'm really trying to like set up the scene. We keep getting distracted.
I mean, that's
the
how
game.
The show goes.
The game came out. The game came out, and it is super bucky. Lots of weird little issues with it. I personally haven't seen a lot of visual stuff, but at the same time, I beat it all in like a 4-hour stint. Kind of like Sonic Forces for us back in the day. And some of the things I've seen in clips probably could have happened to me and I just didn't notice. But nonetheless, like they're there. Lots of issues, including a very major one that happens to basically almost everyone I've seen in the circles I've seen people talk about this game online. When they go back to replay certain levels, the game will crash, corrupt their save, and auto-delete it, and then they're fucked. And this happened to me.
That sounds like replayability.
Yeah, it's a feature, you know?
It's actually a new feature.
It's we call it a happy accident, okay?
Yeah.
A happy little treat.
Free Bob Ross.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that happened to me, and that sucks, and I'm not going to play the game until they patch
Ever
it,
again.
because I do want to platinum it. Well, this thing is, I had an older save, but it was like an hour and a half of game time gone. I'm like, I don't feel like redoing this right now. We'll do
If
something
that happened
else.
to me, I'm never playing the game again. Straight up. I've definitely done that. Where like
I had
shit
already
crashes,
beaten
and
it.
I'm like, no, I'll do that.
Yeah. I mean, I had already beaten the game. I was just trying to 100% it. Get all the red star rings in the levels. I have a trophy for 100%ing Tropical Resort that when I boot up my save is not 100%ed, you know? My trophies are lying to me, and I feel like a coward. I gotta amend that, you know what I mean? I gotta fix that.
It's okay to be a coward. Look at this country.
I've seen lots and lots and lots of glitches in this game in Twitter clips. Some were like, the ending of the game, spoilers for Sonic Colors, skip 30 seconds, has a black hole chase Sonic that absorbs him, but he gets saved by all the wisps. And in the Switch version of that, it's like just a black circle that's like seizurely flashing, and then the game like stops or whatever.
Warning?
It's a glitch. They're not going to put a warning. I'm sure every game actually has a warning in the fine print somewhere.
Not Cyberpunk.
That's true.
At first.
That's true. That's true. And then they realized their game was killing innocent teens, or whatever the news had said. Lots of glitches like that. Sometimes particles don't pop up. The funniest thing I've seen is like a missile that goes to hit Sonic always explodes in this big like triumphant thing. Here it just like breaks the polygons up and then disappears. Like very flatly. Lots of funny visual errors, some like really obnoxious ones, and then the game will crash. The game will delete your save. The game, all these issues. And playing it also learned that the cutscenes are in standard definition, or at least that's what they looked like. They're actually not, but that's what they look like. And how like there's no work done to those.
I was gonna say when, because I watched you play a little bit of it, and yeah, like the eyes especially just looked real bad. Like,
yeah,
like weirdly glossy and but like they're trying to be reflective, but not. It's very weird. It's hard to describe, but like when you see it, you'll know what I mean.
Yeah, and I watched a Digital Foundry's video showing all the differences between the Wii original and this game, talking about some of the issues with this game as well. And apparently, while the cutscenes were obviously done in engine and filmed, so to speak, digitally filmed, unlike other games at the time even on the Wii console, when that cutscene happens when the player's playing it, I'm just gonna put Mario in, for example, or Zelda or something on Wii, anything really, Uncharted, it's actually playing out all that stuff. Like, it's putting the characters in and making sure they go through their animations. Apparently, Sonic Colors, it's just a video file that plays. So they had it run in engine, saved that video, put the video file on the disc plays video file. So they didn't have all those pieces there, a nice like project file for that thing in engine for them to do. And for the time and budget they had, it was not feasible for them to actually recreate the cutscenes. But because one of the cool things about Sonic Colors is the team actually recreated the game, even using original code, in a different engine. It's not running on the original engine. Like, they had the opportunity to like redo some of the graphics, like up-res, like actually remake and up-res textures. Some of the geometry for like background elements has more polygons to it because they had to redo it anyway, so they made it look better. And then you watch a Wii cutscene, and everything looks a lot worse. Like, none of the cool lighting shit they did in the game is in those cutscenes. Apparently, all they could do was just run it through an AI to like anti-alias out the edges, so it's like technically HD, but you can see a whole lot of artifacting going on.
After Effects real quick.
Probably. Because the issue that I want to talk about with you, Devin, today isn't how fans of Sega and Sonic should be upset at Blind Squirrel Games for this effort. They should be upset with Sega for imposing such a harsh deadline on a quick timetable.
And I want to throw in there, too, that we've talked about in the past, like about Sonic Rangers and expectations and whatnot. That might change our expectations or more our predictions on it. I guess I'd rather say it makes me nervous. I was already nervous, but like
that's the Sonic cycle. You're just constantly nervous. And one more thing, because I want to talk about the Sonic Rangers thing now, too. One more quick thing. What's hilarious about this whole ordeal is that Sonic Colors is considered one of the good 3D Sonic games, if not maybe top 2 or top 1, because it's just Sonic, just one type of platforming stuff that is considered good enough or fun. I have fun playing it. I have fun playing that type of gameplay in Sonic Generations and Sonic Unleashed. Not Sonic Forces because the levels were bad, but I enjoy that type of gameplay. So this game was only that. So on paper, a game that was like a remaster or remake or whatever of a game that was already considered one of the good ones is such an easy win, and it still gets fucked up. That's what's ironically hilarious about this, is like, wow, this is terrible in other ways that we don't consider from a Sonic game. But yeah,
it should be almost a layup where it's just like, take some time, make it. You're just updating graphics, doing some house cleaning basically on it, and it like you'll get the same reviews you got probably however long ago it came out,
or maybe even more favorably because of nostalgia. And maybe because recent Sonic games might not be as good as this one, so therefore you kind of have to give it to them for being like, well, you brought back the one good one, right? But yeah, no, Sega's deadline of needing this game to come out in early September, and my just basic assumption is because they want it to stay in this fiscal year so that the next Sonic game, which probably is coming out next year, is affecting that fiscal year, so they have a Sonic game to boost both years' sales.
Come on,
that's my assumption. The fiscal year stuff is always fascinating. Whenever a game gets delayed out of its fiscal year, it's always like, wow, that game must have been in rough shape. Final Fantasy VII Remake was delayed 1 month, and that 1 month was like changing the fiscal year, screwed up Square's financials for the previous year, but it was that important of a delay, right? This is a game that deserved that level of delay of like, nope, delay the game anyway, Sega. What are you doing? I don't care if you need this as a holiday game, but like, it's probably going to sell anyway and they're not going to care. But yeah, for Sonic Rangers, which we still don't know if that's the title, they kind of leaked their own damn game's title, so I'm fine with calling it Rangers. I'm not, I don't, like, we kept hoping and praying, like, okay, the last main big Sonic game done by Sonic Team, although they have worked on a couple little projects. It wasn't the full team, though, to my knowledge, for other Sega stuff. Puyo Puyo, a puzzle game, they worked on that, whatever. Okay, it's been one of the longest periods in between Sonic games, mainline ones done by Sonic Team. So hopefully it's going to be really good because they're taking their time. Maybe they decided, you know what? You take all the time you need, make a really good Sonic game. If Sega is willing to impose harsh deadlines on not even Sega owned stuff, you know what I mean? Like an outside company. I don't know. Like, is Sonic Rangers just going to come out and be broken too? Is it going to come out and be like, well, this needed more levels because it's got 3, or they stretched it out so it has 120 levels and they're all really shit, or something like that, you know, or it needs an extra year. Do you think that they're going to do that?
I don't know. I mean, they might have rushed it out too because maybe they didn't want this to conflict with. Maybe Sonic Rangers is coming out quicker than we thought. Maybe it's coming out in like March, and they don't want to drop this in December, and it be confusing for grandma to buy at Christmas time or for their son's birthday.
The new Sonic game.
Yeah, because you're going to say new Sonic game, we don't know what that's going to mean. Or for people maybe who generally like Sonic but aren't going to pay attention that much either, it just might be like, okay, here's Sonic Rangers, I mean, honestly, Sonic Colors Ultimate sounds a lot more cooler than Sonic Rangers, in my opinion. So I probably would get that one, but not know any better.
Well, also, too, if you are a gamer and you heard, oh yeah, Sonic Colors is one of the good ones, and Sonic Rangers you don't know anything about, it's not a known quantity, and Sonic needs to be known, a known quantity to trust, you know what I mean? Maybe you would go with the old one anyway, because you think you'd have more fun with it than the new one. But, yeah, no, I mean...
It adds more. It throws a wrench into our already like very. We don't have much like to really base off half the assumptions we make about Sonic Rangers. We're just kind of guessing, and I think it just throws more of a wrench into that. Of like now I'm like I really have no fucking clue of what they're doing, what their plans are. It's. But it makes me more. If anything, I'm like Sonic Rangers. I was very, very cautiously hoping it's just not bad. Now I'm just like, if they're crunching, trying to rush through this, I'm like, it seems like they don't give a shit. They didn't learn from the Sonic movie, which is take your time, listen to feedback. You know.
You pointed the best I've ever heard someone talk about Sonic. Cautiously, hoping it's not bad. That's not even saying cautiously optimistic. It's cautiously
maybe I said that in the
hoping
past,
it's not terrible.
I'm just like I just don't want it to be Sonic Forces.
Yeah, which
and
I
like,
will never.
It easily could be. It easily could be.
I will never forget the reveal of Sonic Forces and my initial reaction of like, "You got to be fucking kidding me! This is not. Stop it! No, did you learn anything? Because there wasn't any gameplay, but it was just Sonic walks up to a burning city with giant Eggman robots blowing it up, and he scowls, and the camera shows, like, hangs low and shows his fist do the Arthur thing, Arthur meme thing, of he clenches it or whatever. I remember being like, just give me more fun Sonic story adventures, because you can't handle this. This is Sonic 06 again. You can't handle this. Sonic's going to kiss another human woman and have us believe that, like, that was a cool and serious moment. It's so, like, I guess to be a little bit fair to them here, the teaser reveal for Sonic Rangers is kind of similar, which it doesn't show anything other than the fact that Sonic's in a place that he exists, and like the vibe for this one at least isn't that.
I mean, they easily could scrap it too. Like, it'd been like, oh, everything we show there, just throw it out the window. He's actually in New Donk City. Sorry.
That would be awesome. I'm sure someone has modded New Donk City or any of the Mario 3D stuff into Sega or into Sonic anything. But I mean, I streamed Sonic Colors Ultimate one day and finished it. The next day I went back to go 100% it. I even bravely titled the stream that we were going to platinum it today. Because I was that confident. It was my day off. I'm like, we're going to do this all fucking day. Hour and a half in, the game crashes. I'm like, we're playing Dark Souls instead. I would much rather take that torment than play Sonic for an hour and a half and potentially lose that time. Exactly. But I had fun with the game. I want to put some positive stuffs out here. And it's mainly like easy to say this because this was a game I already liked from 11 years ago. But I had fun playing. I liked that a lot of the visuals have been changed. There's lots of new lighting stuff, reflections, not real time, but just reflections. The fact that it's in 60 frames per second makes it feel more fun because Sonic's moving really fast. You get to see that twice as much, technically, from the jump from 30 to 60 frames. I played on PS5, the PS4 disc. Load times, they're next to nothing. It's basically, you don't even have time to read, like, the stage name and in your previous time, it's just automatically going, and I love that, right? Gameplay feels very good. There's some tiny little obnoxious new element they added. Sonic can homing attack, obviously. That was already there. But they added, we saw the trailer, Sweet Spot is literally what I predicted. When the reticle pops up, there is a green ring, a part of it that's new, and then there is a thin white ring that just starts from the outside and goes into the center. And if you press the button when it's in that green ring segment, it's a Sweet Spot 1. You gain a little tiny bit of your boost gauge in, which was good. One of my complaints, or not complaints, but like disappointments about the 2010 original Sonic Colors, and compared to Sonic Unleashed, which was 2 years prior, was that Sonic Unleashed, you're constantly gaining boost by picking up rings. Sonic Unleashed did that. Sonic Colors didn't. You had to pick up wisps to do that. So there's lots of times where I couldn't boost, and it felt like I feel like I should be doing this more efficiently, this level, but I don't know how. This adds to that a little bit. So it's cool, but the fucking sound effect that plays when you Sweet Spot homing attack is so ear-piercingly annoying that I like sometimes would actively just quickly press the button so I would fail that because I didn't want to hear it. I'm like, this is louder than the music, or well, I guess that's kind of how games are. Like sound effects are generally speaking louder than the music. But the music was really quiet. The remixes are mostly not something I enjoy. You can't pick the original music either. You have to listen to the new shit. But yeah, some of the sound effects audio mixing is pretty bad. It's like really loud. And then my biggest complaint about the game, because I did like the game quite a bit, game goes on pretty quickly. None of the levels are really all that hard, but some are like annoying and slow. There's a boss that sucks. My biggest complaint, and we talked about this last episode, when we talked about the credits, and I said, I remember liking the game a lot, liking certain elements, but I don't remember the game perfectly. But I remember the most vivid thing about the original was that the credits were like 20 minutes long, and it were very boring, and it showed everyone in fucking Sega. And we joked about it and said, yeah, like it would be cool though if you're, a maintenance employee at the Sega building office and your name is in there. Be like, oh yes, I'm in a Sonic game. It takes the player 15 minutes to see me and my name though, and they're probably not.
I know I've been working 60 hours this week, and they pay me like $5 an hour. But hey, I worked hard, and now
I'm in that game we can't afford.
Oh yeah, they don't even give them the game either.
Right.
That'd be the icing on top. They're just like, oh no, you're not getting this game for free. You can go to your GameStop, sir.
Exactly. I remember I follow someone on Twitter that used to work at the localization offices for Atlas, and during like the PS3 era of localizing some of their Japanese games over, and instead of getting free games, they got discounts on their own games. Like you can take $20 off Demon Souls or whatever because they published the game. In any case, those 20-minute credits turn into 40-minute credits, folks. And
did you actually time it?
I feel like they're worse. I didn't time it perfectly, but I looked at the clock when it started. 40 minutes passed. 40 minutes passed.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yes. I saw someone was streaming it, and they said credits for the trophy because you need to finish the credits for a trophy. They said, warning, the credits are really long. Don't watch. But I'm doing it anyway. I'm like, I feel your fucking pain because I streamed myself staring at credits. The gameplay is very boring during the credits thing. It's really bad. But the most hilarious part is that, like credits for movies or games play music during it. And like you might watch a really long movie like Lord of the Rings, and it will cycle through one song to another song to a third song maybe. Yeah, something vaguely symphonic like that, right? This game, and I don't know if the 2010 original did this, but this game plays the main theme, which is a remix, which isn't as good, some other song, and then there's silence for 35 minutes.
No way.
There's silence. Besides the sound effects of you jumping through the names, which I stopped doing.
Have you considered that
there's
maybe
silence?
They're the artists. They are an auteur, and they're like, no, we want to leave people with time to think about what they just witnessed, what they just played. So they're like, we're gonna play the main song, and then we're gonna have it fade out, and there's gonna be nothing for 35 minutes.
That's what
genius.
it fucking. Oh my god! I was so dumbfounded. I'm like.
Honestly, I'm surprised David Cage hasn't done that shit yet, where he's like, it's just silence as the credits roll.
You must think about everything.
Every action
you must see my name and appreciate it.
Yeah, it's just going to say, starring David Cage, myself.
Yeah.
Actually, he probably has done that. Someone let me know if David Cage has actually... I feel like that is a David Cage thing to do. Like nothing in the credits. There's movies that have done that, right? Or just like it ends, and then just like... the credits roll, and then maybe the music plays after like a minute. It'll just be like wind or something, which is cool. God. But it's a movie. I would not want to do that in a video game. That'd piss me off, especially if it's 40 minutes where it's just dead silence.
Remember when that man said he was going to sue journalists for reporting facts about him and his company in French, which he was legally allowed to do there?
Then he like cried or whatever in fucking court.
Yeah.
Fucking pussy.
Yeah. Oh my god. He has game files of Elliot Page's character model naked, which are obviously not in the game, but he has files of that character model naked. It's really weird. Yeah. Really weird guy. But Sonic is not David Cage. And Sonic's stories touched me more than anything David Cage has ever done. Because at least the idea of friendship is something we can all get behind.
What? The people at the back of the bus, the androids back in the bus didn't hit your core? Did it remind you of something? Absolutely. But then when you ask about it, he says, oh no, there's no connection.
When I had heard about that, my first thought was, wow, are only white people making stories these days? Is it just? This feels like it's not. You shouldn't be able to do that.
Maybe David Cage and Sonic need to team up. Maybe that's the thing. You need two people at the struggling in their careers to come together and help each other up. Maybe that's what we need.
The credits were really long.
It did not star David Cage.
It's hilarious because it shows all the 2010's originals credits. So it's the people that worked there at that time. And then it says Sonic Colors Ultimate credits scrolls through. And then it lists all this, but it's all the Blind Squirrel people.
But I'm saying, like,
but yeah, it basically is now the current Sega executives and everyone that works in every single division.
Now,
when I saw fucking Sega Australia scroll by and start listing people, I'm like, stop. I bought a North American region video game. Just list my people.
Australia doesn't exist. In my book.
It's not real.
It might as well not exist.
It's not real.
America first.
Yeah. I know people are celebrating the fact, though, that this game is the first commercially available console game running on an engine called Godot, which when I first was reading it, thought it was spelled Gadot, and I thought, oh, Godot. It's Godot.
I thought you were about to say GoDaddy. I'm like, wow, I didn't know GoDaddy's getting into video games, huh?
GoDaddy kicked some right-wing website off their servers, and I don't know if people were celebrating that.
And then one guy's like, that's free speech.
Against my...
Yeah.
And someone's like, sir, we're in Europe. Yeah, but free speech is a universal concept.
Yeah, sure.
But you're citing an American Constitution.
Sonic should be a universal concept, and somehow... they keep fucking it up.
I mean, Sonic and Tails chased down the president in San Francisco and hijacked his vehicle.
They committed
to then tell him Eggman was bad.
Borderline assault or attempted assassination, right? I mean, I know they weren't trying to kill him, but like they could have.
I'm rethinking this, remembering. I'm pretty sure they go in to stop him from agreeing to Eggman's like demands, which is
also
we don't do that.
They jump into his limo, don't they?
Yeah, and tell him don't side with the terrorist Eggman.
And he's like, okay.
But at least this game's story is more lighthearted. He just wants to build an ultimate amusement park, but then also brainwash people into going there. And that's obviously the bad part. It's like, shit.
People do that now.
Yeah.
And where's our Sonic now? Who's going to be our Sonic in our world, bro?
But, yeah, I don't know. Like, there's so much to like about Sonic Colors Ultimate, and I will go back and platinum it after they patch it. I checked today on 9/10, September 10th, and it's still not patched, at least on PS5.
Well, I saw someone on
PS4.
Twitter. I don't know if I liked it with the SMS Twitter account, but one of the people who worked on the game, who was on Blind Squirrel, was saying, "Hey, we're working on it. Like, please."
Yeah, that was a couple days ago too. So I'm hoping that it's like around the corner.
They can take their time, by the way.
And I hope Sega.
There was rumors that they were getting crunched.
Yeah,
even though Sega says on their website, "Hey, we don't crunch here."
Yeah,
but it doesn't mean our third parties don't.
Exactly. We
care about diversity, but all the people we third party with.
Now, I'm not going to defend Sega in any of the contexts we just talked about, but one of the things I had seen from people is that Sega in Japan, their Japanese division, their main division, so to speak, was one of the might be the very first, but at least one of the very few to start doing this, and is the only one that's still like super big on it, actually being like LGBTQ like protective and supportive, and like their protections at that company for you if you're trans for decades. It's been like that, and it's actually super positive. So because I see people like during Pride Month being like, all these corporations doing this just for clout, but I saw people be like, the only game company that gets to do this IMO is Sega, because they do that. So some of those mantras they hold for themselves.
Yeah, but if you work with other people who aren't, then you kind of lose your cred, in my book.
Exactly.
Because it's like the whole, like, I'm not racist, but also if there's racist shit happening around me, if I'm not saying anything, you're not helping. You're just being quiet, and then that person's still going to be racist.
Yeah.
So, like, that's how I look at it. Like, great, step in the right direction, we'll take the dub, but you can't work with other people. But that's not the issue right now we're talking about. I'm talking about crunch specifically. You can't say, oh, we don't have crunch here, which is great. You don't have crunch at Sega, supposedly. I'm sure there's still shit that goes down. But if you're just going to third party out or have someone else work on your game,
and then put a harsh deadline in that basically forces them to crunch to keep their contract, like valid or whatever, that's not good either.
Yeah, you're no better. Like, you're still like. And that's the thing with, like, all these...
You didn't shoot them. You just handed them the gun and told them they needed to shoot themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. It just... But to me, it's, like, not really surprising because, like, nowadays, like, even the best video game companies, like, just nowadays, there's so much shit coming out. And I'm so glad it is, though, because we need some sort of culture change in just video game industry and just gamers.
It used to be...
The community as a whole. But
it used to be like a giant newsworthy important day when we found out Studio X crunches. Now it's the opposite. When you find out, oh, Insomniac made the new Ratchet and Clank and they didn't crunch at all, and they didn't have any of the issues we've been seeing. And it's like, oh my god, we need to talk about this all day, because the assumption was the opposite, because that's where we're at right now.
And like, look what happened. They crunched and the game wasn't good, or not good. Sorry, wasn't polished. It wasn't ready to go. Yeah. Clearly, to me, your game's not finished if your game is crashing, and then deleting your save files. One thing if it crashes once in a while. I played Cyberpunk day one, so I can speak from experience and whatnot. But like at the end of the day, like if it's deleting save files, like that's such a big issue.
And this wasn't just a random happenstance. people have been saying, oh, if you play Sweet Mountain Act 1 again, there's a really high chance it will crash. That was the level that crashed my save file. Yeah. I went to go 100%. It was weird because I obviously played it once for the story. Did all Tropical Resort levels again. S ranks, which I don't want to do again, which makes it hard for me to want to go back. Got 100% of that zone. Went on to Sweet Mountain. Played that once. Missed a red star ring. Where was it? I see it in a video. Cool. I went and go get it. Finish the level. Immediately crashes. So there's something even more specific. And what is nice... And I don't know if Xbox Series X does this. I'm going to go ahead and assume that they do. But PS5, for error reports, it actually records video and has screenshot. And it says, hey, do you want to include these with you? This was the last 5 minutes or whatever before it crashed. Do you want to send this in? I'm like, yes. I want that. I want Sega to see hundreds of thousands of that same fucking scene, essentially. I finished this one level, immediately crashes. So that's at least that's a useful tool that the consoles do. But yeah, it isn't like a random, oh, if the butterfly hits the Skyrim man's nose at the right angle, he zips in the stratosphere and the RAM can't keep up and the game crashes. But you will never see that. Someone randomly did. No, this is, oh, want to play a level again? Sorry. It crashes.
Yeah, and
it's very weird.
To go back to like Cyberpunk, like when that was all going down, you have everyone shitting on them. Not everyone. I mean, like, just Twitter and whatnot, like, doing shitty fucking things to developers and whatnot who had no control over when their game was released. To this day, I still think that game should have been dropped on PC only and should not have been last gen. It should have been like, nope, sorry, this game's only coming on PS5 and the new Xbox.
All those developers kept telling their own executives at CD Projekt Red a year before a release date, hey, there's no way this is good. This is done.
And that might have been happening.
No one listened to them.
This might have been happening at Blind Squirrel and Sega. We don't know. Honestly, it sounds very eerily similar to that, just not to the same level because it wasn't the same hype of people being like Sonic Colors Ultimate. Like, it's not the same hype because CD Projekt Red had the
Witcher
high
3.
of Witcher 3, and then Cyberpunk was this big thing. So, like, I think there was
new
more...
game versus a remaster.
But to me, it's the same shit.
Yeah.
It's the same shit. Yeah. When you really think about it,
it's
sounds like
easier.
Sega, the higher ups of Sega were like, nope, we want this game out this time. I don't care what you need to do to get there. Because Cyberpunk was, or CD Projekt Red was crunching and whatnot, and then it still wound up being...
Yeah.
And they delayed
but
it
I mean,
five
it's
times.
also it's also just easier to ask for forgiveness when the alternative is not making a lot of money because the game is delayed, right? It's just easier for them to launch it broken. Now, granted, there are games like Anthem or Fallout 76, big, huge, complicated games that just shipped broken, known broken because they'll know they'll just fix it down the road. They'll say, here's our roadmap. And even Cyberpunk that's what the idea behind the executives is like, we have a roadmap for all our bug fixes. It's like, well, then you clearly knew you weren't, ghosting all your devs that said, hey, we're not done.
And I
Please
think
stop.
that's something that needs
But
to
this
be...
is like all just bugs and shit. This is not a complicated game compared to Cyberpunk or anything else.
Yeah.
So it's like, what the hell? Honest to God, you could have given this team 1 month and the game would have probably been flawless. 1 month. A month. And they would have fixed everything. But I also heard people were saying, too, Blind Squirrel Games never made a Nintendo Switch game. So they have this new SKU, and that machine runs on a completely different technology than PlayStation and Xbox
even
consoles.
More time, be like, learn how to do it. Like, take your time,
and it has different,
you
constraints
don't have
to
it.
it.
Come out on Switch yet? Maybe it comes out next year.
Yeah, or the opposite, because it was a Wii game. It's a Nintendo exclusive. Make one version of the game, then you can port it to PS4 and Xbox, right? Because like the Wii version, or not Wii, the Nintendo Switch version, 30 FPS, 900p docked, 600p on the device. It's not even 720p on the own Switch's screen because it can't handle that in whatever new engine hybrid thing that they worked on. Like that SKU suffers. Like I see people making fun of Switch fans on Twitter being like, here's a hyper compressed footage of a video game, and it'd be like Switch fans like, yeah, but it's portable though. Like it's all I mean. Like that's the excuse. The games look like dog shit, but it's portable. Like people making fun of that with this game because it looks really bad on Switch. because they probably could have used a lot more time to make it for a console they've never put stuff on. This is a porting house.
Yeah.
They need to know the consoles inside out in order to make one console game work on a completely different machine that's running on a new engine, you know?
Yeah, it just seems like Sega's no different than every other video game corporation at this point, where it's just like, especially after COVID, where they're like, we need that money. I don't give a shit. We're going to capitalize on the consumers who... And then once again, not saying you should put all the blame on the consumers. All the blame should be on the corporations. But I think as consumers, we need to be... we've said this plenty of times on this show. We need to be much more active and critical, and also sometimes show them with your wallet. Like, if you hear, like, if we're not happy with this, we should just stop buying this shit. Like,
yeah.
And then be nice, and you tweet or do, like, a review. Don't be tweeting at developers saying, kill yourself and all that dumb shit.
Yeah.
That's not going to solve anything, and if you do that shit, you're a piece of fucking shit. I'll fight you. Literally. Come to Denver, Colorado. I'll fight you. Every single one of you. I'll do it. But... really, like, I think we should just do reviews or just don't buy the game.
What's your address, sir?
No, really, it's just like it's just so frustrating with me because, like, I feel like it's building up, but like nothing's getting necessarily better besides just like it's being reported more, which I guess is better. But like, I'm just like, I guess I'm just getting
people
antsy.
are harassing this dev team.
Yeah, I'm just getting antsy with just like the higher ups are the ones that are making these decisions, and for some reason all the fans just go after the developers every fucking time instead of going after them. Not saying you should even go after the higher ups and telling them to kill themselves. That's not what I'm saying either. I'm just saying let's leave reviews, be critical, and like leave why are you giving this a 1 star on Amazon? Like, why? Okay, the game's buggy, wasn't it working? Or let the developers know that in a nice way. Be like, hey, I don't know if you know, but like blah blah blah. I'm sure they'd appreciate that because that's their job. But, like, it's just, like I said, either we stop buying the games, be critical about it, because then eventually they're going to have to make changes. Like, this is how it's going to be. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight, but, like, this is going to be, the Sonic isn't going to be or this game isn't going to be the last one of this. I can guarantee you in a couple months there's going to be another game that is going to come out that maybe had more hype or less hype, and it's going to... come out, it's gonna be buggy, and people are gonna be disappointed. Are gonna blame the devs. It's rinse and fucking repeat. And like,
and the defense I've always seen from people that are they kind of go with that or whatever is that like, oh, you know, these devs, you don't boycott the game. You got to keep buying it, and then you're basically not speaking with your wallet because then the devs won't make any money. It's like no. Those people are all salaried or they were contract. They've been paid. Very few of these publishers or developers, like development studios, have a royalty bonus, and usually it's pretty shit.
Also,
Gearbox's is
not
pretty
even
shit.
that long ago, and it's still a thing.
The only people you hurt by a boycott are the people that actually matter to actually have that actually are in control
even
of
if
this.
the game is good. How many times does that happen?
Activision every single time.
So
our game is the most successful one ever. We laid off 25% of our workforce.
Yeah,
because we don't know what to do with them. Like what?
Yeah, so like, and that's always been a thing. I think with like art in general, in the last I feel like 5 years, it's always been like, okay, well, if you really like it, if you want to support the artist, even though maybe it's not what you like, you get to buy it, blah, blah, blah. And it's like you said, like, these people are already paid. It's different if it was like an indie developer, then I would say, okay, maybe help them out. But like, yeah, if there's these AAA studios, you don't have to buy the game.
Yeah. Yeah. The only way to fix this for Sonic Ranger's sake is to boycott this game or like really tell Sega, hey, we're not going to buy the next one right away. I'm not going to pre-order Sonic Rangers now because I just don't know. You know what I mean? I just don't know.
I'm going to wait for reviews, and I'm going to wait for other people to play the game, then tell me,
yeah,
is this playable?
And then, like, we run a Sonic podcast, so this technically would hurt us by not playing the game day one.
So we probably will, but
I don't
trust. If it was something like,
but yeah, like I just don't trust it now. You know what I mean? I just can't. And I've done that with other things in the past where I'm like, I need to have that trust earned back. You know, I really liked Paper Mario games. One on 3DS was not what I wanted in a lot of major ways. So I just didn't buy the next one. And then the third one that came in after that, I'm like, all right, hear positive things. Now I'll give this a shot, right? Zelda broke my heart. And I was like, I'm just not excited for the new one. I might not even buy it day one. But happened to be a Switch game, launch game, like the only game. And it was radically different. I'm like, okay, I'll get this one. But like, I've gotten to the point where I'm like, if I don't care about long-running franchises' latest game and it's disappointed me, I'm not excited about the next one. Like, I'm okay. There are other things to play, other things to buy. Sonic fans out there have plenty of other ways to get the gotta go fast itch, perhaps from publishers that care a bit more. You can run outside, yeah.
Paint yourself blue, run outside in the street, create your own
Green
Hill Zone, your own San Francisco. Go ride your skateboard and have your friend chase you in a giant truck.
Exactly. Have your friend climb into Dad's truck.
Cut the brakes and go down a hill.
I drove on a highway with a broken brake line.
But you going down a hill?
It broke on the way down. I mean, yeah, there were hills there, but
were you chasing a hedgehog? No, you weren't. So not the same.
I wasn't. There was a game shown off during the latest PlayStation showcase, where they showed off a bunch of PS5 stuff. It's the second game that they showed, and it was made by some Japanese dev I've never heard of. It might be like a new project or like their first debut project called Project Eve. And it at first looked like, is this a Nier game? No, because it's an anime lady with a sword with like a floating gun around her. I'm like, oh, very fast action, looks really rad. At one point, she's running like Sonic the Hedgehog through a tunnel. I'm like, holy fuck. Hold on a second. You're telling me that they're making a new Sonic game and she's hot?
And she's an anime woman.
Exactly. But yes,
it takes place in a dystopian future. Oh wait, this is just Nier, but she runs faster.
Exactly. And it's not Square, it's not Yoko Taro, it's not Nier. It just confused me at first, especially since I didn't know like that the dev name was the dev name. I thought it was like a project name. You know, some games would be like, this is Project
Scorpio.
Yeah. That ended up being Xbox Series X or Xbox One X, I think.
Scarlet.
Yeah,
bro, you're not a freaking like military operation. Chill. It's the same like with like military operations, like Operation Hydra or Operation Falcon.
Yeah.
Operation.
My favorite one,
Winter Storm.
Nintendo called the prototype, file names or whatever for the GameCube Dolphin. Project Dolphin, and the Game Boy Advance was Atlantis.
That sounds like something America did in Vietnam, straight up. Just like Project Dolphins when like they killed like 30,000 people with napalm.
Exactly. Yeah, Reality was the Nintendo 64, or maybe that was the Wii. No, Revolution.
They've been
was
doing
Wii.
it for a while. It isn't like Microsoft being like, yeah, dude, we're like the military.
Yeah,
but that's where my brain goes. Every time I hear like
the DS was
Project
Nitro
or anything, or I either think it's like FBI or CIA. Like, like, yes,
this
we
is
did kill
primetime
TV
on CBS.
Yeah, season 1 of Project Eve, starring.
The JFK thing is that the secret is that multiple people shot at him. They just managed to cover all but one up. That's why there's multiple exit wounds or whatever. Or why it doesn't line up is because the man was shot 30 times. And Magneto tried to save him because he was a mutant. Man, I'm excited about that Wolverine game. I don't know anything about it.
See, we're just talking about like paying with your wallet and whatnot. Looks cool. But I'm so fucking done. I think I said this last time in the Game Awards. I'm so done with like cinematic trailers, like that aren't in like in game. If it's just like basically it's a teaser being like this is our next project we're working on, right?
Yeah, cool.
I've seen that shit before, and the game stinks, or it's just not. Not saying I don't trust Insomniac, but just like until I see gameplay anymore.
So that's the thing is though, they've earned it from me though because the last games that they have made. Like the last 4 or 5 have been great.
I know, but I'm just saying,
and
like,
they play
I'm
good,
still
and I trust them.
Like, until I see gameplay, I won't know if the game is for me because like it might be cool, but it might be a turn-based RPG, and I'm like, okay, see you later.
Now, would you say the same thing about a sequel to a game you really like Spider-Man 2?
I saw it, but that was also. Like,
and actually, it wasn't CG; it was in-engine.
Yeah.
It was real-time graphics.
I mean, that's cool, but like I already knew that was going to happen, so like I wasn't that hyped. Like they
it was very obvious because
the first
the
game
had no Venom stuff at all. No black suits, no nothing. It was like, they're putting everything in this game but one aspect.
Oh, and at the end there's this. Yeah. Like for me, like I love God of War even before the new one. Like I think, I'm glad that new people got into the game, the franchise, because of the new one, and it's a totally different change of pace. I still think I prefer more of a hack and slash action game, but I did appreciate what the game was, and I really liked that game. Probably one of my favorite games ever. Even like the sequel, I'm like, okay, cool. I know all these characters, and I'm like, they showed at least some gameplay in it. I'm like, okay, cool. If they showed me just cinematic, I've been like, cool. Because even when the first trailer for the newest God of, or the latest God of War, it's just Kratos and Atreus, hunting in the woods, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be cool. But then the day, I'm like, what's the game gonna be like? Because it's been how many years, all that. Once they started showing what it was gonna be, then I got more interested.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and I know I'm not wrong, but the first reveal, it was a gameplay demo.
Was it? Whatever. I just remember like
it was because and it was the opening stuff, but framed differently for the sake of immediately introducing you to what's going on. And like you played as Kratos and you fought stuff in there. You got the gameplay right away, and that's like what's cool and good. Nintendo likes to do that with some of their stuff where they just show gameplay.
Just like, until I see gameplay and I even reviews, even stuff I like now, just because I don't have time, and I also don't like spending as much money on a game that I might only play 10 hours of. That I'm like, I need to. Because like I think the last game that like I'm like I bought into the hype just based off cinematic trailers was freaking Death Stranding, and I wound up like playing 5 hours of that game, being like, oh, this is the game.
Yeah.
To each their own. Not my cup of tea. I don't have the patience to walk.
Now that's very fair, very fair, because it's all
great.
Kojima ever
Looks
showed.
Cool. Interesting
Kojima
aesthetic.
didn't show gameplay. Kojima didn't show gameplay until 2019 in the summertime. There wasn't any gameplay until then. And that's was like, oh wait, he just walks.
But I still bought the game because I was like, oh, there's gonna be more. There's gonna be more to it. Nope.
And I want to finish that game too because I'm in a very similar boat. About 5 hours, and I'm like, it's cool. There are other things. Game feels satisfying, but like I'm kind of feeling
I'm gonna hit this rock, and it's gonna be kind of annoying. A lot of storage, micromanaging, and I'm like, I don't got that time.
That's an issue. That's a Kojima issue that carried over from his last game, Metal Gear Solid 5, where it's everything takes for fucking ever. And it's just designed that way. Not even like a load time thing. It's just
cool
designed to take forever.
That, but like it got old.
You have to watch it.
Yeah.
And you can't skip it. Maybe you do after hour 20. But I remember the days of calling the helicopter to come pick you up in Metal Gear Solid 5. And you stand around the landing zone. And it finally picks you up. And you watch Snake get in. And you watch Snake to sit down. And you watch from his perspective the helicopter flies away. And flies and flies and flies and flies and flies and flies and flies. Get the new area already loaded in. You can see it from outside the window. But we need to watch Snake sit there. It's the same fucking thing with Sam taking a shit. I don't care. I watched him the first time. Thought it was cute. Oh, he really took a shit. Like, or he's taking a shower. It's weird that it's the same thing. But I guess, this world sucks. This post-apocalyptic America that looks like the Irish coast everywhere apparently sucks. And there's only shower toilets. But like... Yeah, no, I'm with you there.
But that's the thing. Is like, it goes back to my Sonic Rangers, where I'm like, I'm not really that hyped to begin with. But now with like all this, just to kind of tie up this conversation, it's just not. I'm now just like not looking forward to it. Of just like it just seems like they don't give a shit. Like, I thought maybe, like, with this, they can look at the Song movie and see how they did things right. But once again, Hollywood has a lot more experience of how to make movies. I remember video games have only been around for, like, 35, 40 years, like, on the mainstream.
Arguably, yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Just, like, there's all that, and it's just, like, I don't know. I'm just kind of just about this whole thing, and then hearing your experience, I'm like, man...
Yeah. Again, such an underhanded pass. It's one of the good Sonic games, and it still ended up being rough. So, whatever. Eventually, I will platinum this game. I'll stream it.
One day, we're going to have a Sonic win game of the year. One day.
I think we have a better chance of us seeing episode 1991
you think?
Before that happens.
Okay, to be fair, when we started the show, we thought the Sonic movie was going to be trash, and that's the whole reason why we did it. And then, like, it wound up being solid, and we're like, wow, what a Cinderella story. They won the Super Bowl. We were like, where'd this team ain't go in the playoffs? No, they got to the playoffs. They got in the wild card. They beat the teams they had to beat, and guess what? They won it all, right? But this team, the Sonic Colors team, they stink. And we're like, okay, maybe we go in the playoffs, not this year. That's how I feel. To put a sports analogy on it. I'm on underhand passes.
To also go with the sports analogy, you know what? They just wanted it more than the other guys. That's just it. They just wanted it more.
That is such a classic press conference thing to say. And I've watched too many press conferences that I'm willing to admit. Even though it's the same shit every time, I still just love hearing them. Being like, it was a great game out there. You know, we went out there and we just played better. We executed better than the other team. You know, and
yeah.
Now it's on to Cincinnati.
I have no regrets. Exactly. But yeah, we're Sonic Colors. Sure, take it or leave it.
SMS, we're not approving that. I think we don't have
not at this moment.
No, we're not.
You know what? We're not even reviewing this game yet. Because you don't have it, but because I didn't want to do like a review of Ultimate until like we both played it, or at least like my experience was done, and my experience isn't done because my game crashed.
300.
Yeah, just in time for it to be re-released again on PS6 and Xbox X Series.
Somehow it'll be a port
S.
and it'll be better though.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the Wii game. Well, that's the other thing too. Like, never mind. Sega could have gone a number of ways. Instead, they seem to have spent a lot of money and gave a harsh deadline and said, fuck you guys.
Fucked over a lot of people's lives and energy they'll never get back.
Yeah.
Because capitalism.
And speaking about things that you will never get back, we have about 15 more minutes of stuff to waste your time with. And we're considering this a news episode today. Because this was all in recent times. And we like to end our news episodes with reading a Sonic story. Mm-hmm. In the past, we've read the Sonic movies novelization, had a whole bunch of fun, learned some incredible factoids, some framing. Apparently, Tom was cheating on Maddie, and that wasn't in the movie, but in the novelization.
Is that what we wrote?
50 Shades of Blue. No, that was in the book. You know what I mean? The book.
No, I'm saying, was that what we wrote last time? I don't remember.
I don't know. But now we're doing some Sonic Mad Libs. It's really dumb. And, I kind of regret that we do this, but I have fun doing it. We do Sonic lore now because our Sonic lore is done. If you have your own Sonic lore, a.k.a. fan fiction, send it into the show. Tweet or DM at Sonic Movie Show. I don't know if our DMs are open.
Or email us at sonicmovieshow@gmail.com. That also works.
That is actually our email, yes. Yes. Email, tweet, whatever. If you want us to read your Sonic fan fiction with your consent.
Ethan on Twitter, Sonic Nudes.
At Ethan Absolutely. At Ethan Absolutely. I have a Mad Libs, though, to read until we get more fan fiction. I say more as if we gotten any. We take turns. Devin has a general Sonic Mad Libs that he reads for me. I have a Sonic the Movie Mad Libs that I read for him, and it's my turn. I go in chronological order because I think this is supposed to be order of events in the movie. Although I can tell right now, based off this title, it's a stretch on events that happened in this movie. So I'm going to read you stuff. So basically, I'm going to ask you stuff, including the first thing, and you're going to answer with the first thing that comes to your mind. I'm going to challenge you now. The first thing that comes to your mind.
Oh, boy. I don't know if you want to know
first thing.
Because,
first thing.
It gets wild up in here.
And your first question is part of the body.
Dick. See, this is why, you're just making fun of me.
Adjective.
Greasy.
Adjective.
Creamy.
Noun.
Fish.
Adjective.
Smelly.
Type of food.
Mozzarella sticks. Guess that's what I'm hungry for.
Adjective.
Slimy. Did I already slimy? I don't think I did slimy.
You did not yet.
I love gross shit. Clearly, that's where my brain wants to go.
Noun.
Traffic. Is that a noun? I think so.
Yeah. Plural noun. Which is, traffic would also work there, too. Plural noun.
Mountains. Just thinking about my commute.
Noun.
Grandpa.
Adverb. Adverb.
Through? No, it's a verb. Adverb. Spanked.
That's also a verb.
Fuck. It's an adverb again. Jeez, my brain. Adverb.
Cautiously, sheepishly, excitedly.
Sleepy.
Words that end in ly. Sleep. No.
Aggressively.
Aggressively. Oh, fuck, I gotta spell that.
AGGR or something.
Adjective.
Deathly.
That's an adverb. I want an adjective. Wait, no, deathly. No, deathly works.
Okay, as long as it works, you know.
I guess deathly would be an adverb. Deathly isn't. Noun.
Earlobe.
Noun.
Disney.
Adjective.
Hairy.
Number.
61.
And finally, an adjective.
Grimy.
Okay.
Grimy, slimy, gross, and my brain's just literally sewage. I think that's the best way to describe it. Just based off you're telling me to go first thing in my head. And clearly I don't remember what a fucking adverb is. And I fucking write for it. God.
This story is called Crazy Carl Goes Shopping.
No, it is.
I know in...
Oh,
yes,
that Carl. I thought I'm thinking of Carl from Jimmy Neutron.
Oh, the monkey at the end?
Yeah.
I know in my dick that there's something greasy in the woods of Green Hills. Here is my creamy shopping list of items to help me catch that rascal. A metal cage in the shape... Oh, 1. A metal cage in the shape of a fish. It has to be smelly enough to catch this thing. 2. Some fresh mozzarella sticks to lure the creature. I have a feeling he really enjoys something slimy. Ugh.
Oh, slimy mozzarella. Like when the cheese is very
or it's just really greasy and
Yeah.
not baked or not
I
fried
feel like Sonic
enough.
would love that though, considering he loves chili hot dogs, chili
I'm
cheese dogs.
Ugh. Number 3, a professional grade magnifying traffic. I need to track the mountains very closely.
Makes sense.
4, a tranquilizer grandpa who knows how to aggressively this creature can move. A tranquilizer grandpa who knows how aggressively this creature can move.
Grandpa
5,
knows.
some deathly snacks, high in earlobe, to keep me alert.
Wait, so he eats earlobes.
It's like kind of eating pigskins.
No wonder they call him
Bacon
crazy Carl.
6, a waterproof Disney in case the weather turns hairy. I want to make sure I can still see. And number 7, 61 batteries for my radio so I don't get too grimy.
A lot of batteries to make it work. I guess those are spare ones, but
So many batteries, it's like a Sega Game Gear.
oh yeah,
That thing took 8, maybe 6. Took a lot. Well, there we have it. That was
that one was pretty bad. I think that's our worst one. The canon doesn't make any sense. There must have been something lost in translation.
These are Crazy old Carl texts. Is very...
These are old texts.
Exactly. This is the Old Testament. Oh, speaking of old text, apparently an early draft of King Arthur was uncovered. Researchers are poring over it.
Oh, really? That's dope.
Yeah, like an old-ass giant book that's 8. Maybe not the first draft, but an early draft of the story. Very interesting.
I need to look that up. That's dope.
Yeah. And a couple months ago, someone tried to illegally sell a section of the story of Gilgamesh in an auction house and got caught because that's protected, culturally important work.
Yeah, imagine doing something, dying, and then thousands of years from now, they're like, we need to protect this. This is culturally important. You're going in every bomb shelter ever to make sure that if the human race kills itself, there's going to be that left behind.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about. This episode could be culturally important thousands of years from now in episode 1991 whenever we get there.
Yeah. I remember the last time there were 2 9s in an episode title. Not having any other examples come to mind. It's just like a Banksy. And we're going to end tonight's episode. Thank you guys for listening so much. I appreciate you very much. It makes me smile knowing that there are millions of you out there that listen to this show.
And if all 1 million of you rate the show 5 stars, we don't do this enough. we should. I hate doing it, but like I feel like we need to do a little call to action, as they say in marketing. How about you go on Apple Podcasts? Even if you don't have an iPhone, figure it out. Go to Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars, drop a comment being like, wow, this show is amazing.
Yeah. If you don't use the YouTube, don't watch a show on YouTube, go there, like and subscribe. That's it.
If you only use Vimeo, let us know.
Yeah. We're not on Vimeo.
We should just start uploading to Vimeo, because why not?
I mean, probably. I don't know, because that's a lot more work for me to do. I struggle with it enough.
When's the last time you've gone on Vimeo?
To watch something like Los Bandoleros, I think.
Oh, that's right. We did watch that. That's probably the same for me then, too.
Yeah.
Before that, probably years.
I don't think I've ever used it. Maybe they had different porn policies in YouTube at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure.
When I was like in middle school,
yeah, I'm sure,
or something.
Definitely watched like Playboy on Vimeo at some point when I was 18.
Yes. Also, another call to action, one that has a much more noticeable effect for the entire world. Follow our Twitter account at Sonic Movie Show. Get those numbers boosted. Like all the things I tweet,
we have to get up there.
And then also follow me on Twitter at Ethan Absolutely. Again, like I mentioned, I will finish the Platinum on Sonic Colors Ultimate, and I'll stream it. I usually stream all my games nowadays. You'll find out when I go live if you follow me there. You can also find out when Devin goes live on his own personal Twitch at Cursona Fun. We love you. We appreciate you. We enjoy your presence, your company, your passion, your dollars. Because we want to make sure episode 100 is very special.
We have
super special guests. We're not crunching. We're delaying it for the sake of... Yes. Wow. It's almost like we follow what we preach. Unintentionally. Didn't even occur to me. Yeah. We have something pretty cool for episode 100. We have Sonic creator Yuji Naka is going to be on the show to talk about all...
No, I'm so kidding. Many special guests.
Exactly.
Vin Diesel's finally on...
Even people who have never played a Sonic and maybe are dead. Elvis Presley, Hugh Hefner, everyone.
They're back.
Exactly. And this is how they're spending their 5 minutes in the real world again, is on a Sonic podcast. Elvis would think it would be pretty groovy. And we think you're pretty groovy.
Elvis would be like, where the fuck am I? What drugs did I take this time?
He's the one that turned me on to peanut butter banana sandwiches. I'll see you later. Goodbye.